Today we are going over the DM conversion sequence. This is crucial to know because posting content just isn't enough. You have to actually get a viewer that has seen your content and get them to take the desired action that you want. This is something that you can task off to your appointment setter, or if you have a sophisticated AI platform, you can have it run through some of these sequences as well. Now, without further ado, we are going to begin. First is the outbound messaging, which is going to be someone that has engaged with your content before. Do not get this mistaken with requesting a free resource, because that is going to be in the inbound process. So we are focusing right now on only people that have liked your content, followed you, or commented, just giving you support, not requesting any sort of resource. I want you to look at your followers and the people that have liked and engaged with your content. This is going to be stage one, peer connection. I want you to understand that these days, people's guard is up much more than ever. We want to lower their guard and build trust. That is what is going to be focused on this key aspect here, because we want to create low pressure, casual conversation so that the lead lowers their guard. They feel more comfortable talking to you and they don't feel like you're just trying to sell them something. We create a smooth bridge to actually talk about business later on in the stage 2 discovery phase. But first, what we essentially want is that first initial conversation to be something that is common between the two of you. Finding a shared spark or mutual point of interest to open the conversation naturally. This is what's going to help you so that it doesn't feel forced. That's what we're doing here. We are avoiding that feeling of being too salesy or forcing it your way in to their messages, to their DMs. That's why sharing something like, I have to say you live in a beautiful area. Where are you based? For me, I live in a beautiful area in California, and that is why I can relate to other people that live in a nice location as well. Your messages are going to be different than mine. I want you to understand that this isn't something you want to copy word for word, because you want to make sure to just understand the key points between all of these and then shift your conversation to that. So any commonalities that you see between you and most of your audience. If you are a fitness coach, then something relatable could be working out. Now, sometimes you will find people that don't have anything on their social media. If their social media is a blank page or there isn't really much to go off of, then you can start it off with just saying, hey name, I just want to say thank you for supporting my content. I really appreciate you. What content are you enjoying the most? Is it X topic or Y topic? Is it the nutrition top content or is it the fitness content if you're a fitness coach? I want you to know though that these types of conversations could lead to them getting a little more suspicious just because it jumps right in to talking about what you specifically do. That could bring their guard up. But if they don't have anything to give you off of, then this is going to be your best bet. Usually you want to find something common that you can relate to, that you can connect with them, and that's going to give you the strongest types of messages. After that, the lead responds. They will say something like, oh, I live in Seattle. Then I will say, oh, no way. I've actually been there before. I love Seattle. How long have you lived there for? Just bringing that conversation. We are moving into the environment phase. This is just asking about their physical location or environment, especially if you are doing high ticket sales. Usually this can immediately tell you if they are somebody that may have money or not. Now, if you initiated a conversation through this method, then you'll just say something like, glad you're liking the nutrition content. And then you go back to asking, where are you based out of? And that will translate immediately to the next part of the conversation, which is going to be the asking for advice, asking their opinion on something, recommendations, or perspective on something non-threatening. This is going to help you because you get them to start talking about themselves. That is what we're doing in this portion here. So it would be nice. Where are there any nice spots you recommend for next time I go? Then they'll be like, oh yes, there's tons. We have this restaurant, that restaurant. We have all this beautiful stuff. And you get them to start talking, opening up a little more. Once we initiate that, we start making things a little more community focused. This is where you start stating your intent as a fellow peer builder looking to connect with like-minded people in your space. This is basically when you start to show that the reason why you're reaching out is because you want to connect with other people. You're trying to network. In case they had any suspicions of why is this person messaging me, you clear that up right here. I have to try that spot out. I'm planning on finding more like-minded people and other entrepreneurs. If you are a B2B, then mentioning that you're looking for other entrepreneurs out there, it starts to slowly shift the conversation into business. We haven't done it just yet, but slowly starting to shift. And then you ask, how is networking in this city? Then they start to talk about that city. They start getting a little more into the conversation. And that is what's going to lead to stage 2, which is going to be the business discovery stage. This is where we are going to transition the topic and we are going to start pivoting the conversation from casual peer networking into active business topics without making it feel like it's a sudden pitch. As you can tell, throughout these conversations, we started off very cold with first messaging them. And then as we started with the conversation, we progressed into getting hotter and hotter until we are scolding hot at the very end. But we will get to that part when we do. First, we are going into the transition topic stage. The goal here is to identify the lead's problem. And how are we going to do that? We are going to compare current state versus target goal. We are going to diagnose the problem before offering the solution. So as soon as you start transitioning the conversation to more business oriented, that's when we're going to start diving into their goals and where they currently are in their journey so far. After we go over the networking and community focus stage, I would say something like, love the recommendation. Next time I go to Seattle, I'll make sure to reach out. By the way, what is it that you do? What do you do for work? This is where we start setting in that stage. If you are in the fitness space, then it could be, oh, now what gyms do you go to? I'm always looking for new gyms to hit up. And then you can move on to something like, what kind of workouts do you do now in the transitioning topic? Talking about things that focus more with what your space is. They respond back. You say, nice. I'm sure that there's beautiful spots to film content in. Since I am in the content niche, I'm going to be mentioning filming. Then I'll say, I've seen a couple guys in your industry in the Bay as well. I live in the Bay. How long have you been building your brand for? Now we are really jumping into that transition, and that leads to the inbound messaging stage now. Inbound messaging is when they are reaching out to you and you are talking about business now. You're actually focusing on the skills that you have. If they requested a free resource from you, then you will skip this entire portion and jump straight into the inbound messaging stage. And that will be a message like, hey, name, thank you for requesting the free resource. You would want it to be a little more specific with this. So for example, it would be, hey, John, thanks for requesting the 600 viral hooks. I would love to hear your thoughts on them. And then they give you a response. They're like, oh, yes, I love them. They're amazing. And I'll be like, I'm glad to hear that. It means a lot. I see you are in the real estate niche. How has that been going on lately? And then that's when they reply. If we are continuing with this conversation here, then it would be a message like, how has content been going so far? Similar type of transition. We are just jumping right in to what you actually do for a living. So in fitness, it'll be, what are your workouts looking like, or how is your fitness journey going? If you are in real estate, it'll be something like, how has the process been for finding a home? They're going to either tell you bad, or they may still have their guard up and they're going to be telling you, good, everything's perfect. Everything is exactly how it should be. Depending on their answer, there will be two different ways. As you can see here, this portion, if they say good, it's going to require you to dig a little deeper into getting to that pain point. But if they immediately tell you it's bad, then you can just jump right into asking them, oh, really? Why is that? This is going to be where you identify those challenges. You are going to get the prospect to articulate their own problem so that they realize they need a solution before you ever pitch one. You are not going to be telling them, oh, this is what you need to do. You need to do this, this, and this. No. They need to come to that decision themselves. That is how they are going to actually feel like they're not being forced into believing something, and they are going to come into the conclusions themselves. So when you ask, oh, really? How come? They respond, they'll say something like, oh, just content hasn't been how it should be. I'm not getting as many views. I am struggling to get leads. Then you say, why do you feel that you're not getting as many views? What do you feel is happening? They'll respond to you. You say, what have you done so far? What have you tried already to fix this? Maybe have they tried other options? This is where you really start digging in and getting them to really think about their problem. Have they even tried anything? Maybe they might say, no, I haven't tried anything. Maybe they say, oh, well, I have tried this and that, but nothing seems to be working. Then you'll ask, why do you feel like even though you've tried XYZ, it still hasn't fixed the problem? Even though you've tried to eat the right kinds of food, or you've tried going to the gym more often, doing more cardio, you're not losing the weight that you want. They're going to respond with either saying, I have no idea, it's a mystery, or, oh, it's because of this. And most likely it's just another excuse of why they haven't. So if they lead on with, it's because of this and that, you are going to shift their beliefs. A lot of times what they think is the problem isn't necessarily the problem. If they think they know the answer, there could be a big chance that they don't know. That's why they're stuck in this situation, because they probably don't know what it is. Or maybe they do know, but they just don't know how to execute it. Whichever answer they give, shift whatever beliefs they have already, and then provide some value. For example, if somebody says, oh, I haven't been able to get good views because the algorithm hates me. I'm not losing weight because my metabolism is just so slow, or I just don't have enough time to work out. You want to shift the beliefs. You want to tell them, oh, well, guess what? Actually, for me, you can bring up a story of yourself. I remember when I was first working out, I felt like I didn't have any time to actually hit the gym or eat the right foods. But then I started meal prepping, and I realized that actually helped me be more consistent with my goals. That is you shifting the beliefs and then providing that value. For content, for example, it's, oh, I used to think that my content wasn't performing well as neither because of the hooks. Or once I started making the content more visually engaging, that made a big difference. Shift their beliefs, shift their previous way of thinking, or even challenge them. If they think that, oh, it's because the algorithm hates me, I'm going to tell them, my client used to think the same way, that the algorithm was out to get me. But once I started changing the hook, or once I started making my content a little more broad, it started getting the awareness I needed. Then you'll go and ask, how long has this pain been causing you issues? This is where we are really digging in deep to that specific problem that they have. We are getting them to finally acknowledge that this pain has been there for so long. They're going to say, oh, well, it's been months now, or it's been a year, it's been years. They're going to realize that things have not been going the way they want to for so long. And then that is when you are going to come in with asking for the call. This is where you make the pitch. You tell them, oh, well, guess what? I understand. I believe I can really give you some great information, some great insight on nutrition or on getting more views, getting more engagement, getting more leads. How about we set up a 15-minute call and we can go deeper into the strategy of how things are going to go? Because this is when they are going to be the hottest, scolding hot. Remember, we started off very cold, messaging this person for the first time. They barely knew you, and now they feel like they really understand you. They feel a connection with you, and they feel like, you know what, this is the right person. I'm going to listen to him. I'm going to see a little more of what they can provide me value for, what they can give me value on. And that is when you make the pitch and you are ready to go. Now, that is if the lead said that things are going bad. But what if they said that things are actually going good? What if they have their guard up and they're telling you, nope, everything's perfect? That is when you have to start digging in a little deeper in a different way. Don't be too pushy here. You want to first start off by just saying, nice, that's awesome. You must be getting these amazing results then. If you're in the fitness space, it could be like, wow, you must be in your dream body now. You must have a 6-pack, an 8-pack now. You want to give out an over-the-top outcome that you wouldn't expect from them. So for example, it's nice, you must be getting crazy amounts of views now. You must be getting millions of views every day from organic content. They will either respond by saying no or yes. If they say no or not exactly, or there's always going to be room for improvement, then you jump into saying, oh really, how come? And that's when you go back to this sequence right here. But if they respond by saying yes, they still believe, yes, everything's perfect, everything is exactly how it should be, then you just continue moving on. You say something like, that's amazing. What's the next big focus for you on scaling your content? What's the next big focus for building your body, for getting your fitness in check? After that, the lead might say something a bit more broad. They might say, oh, well, I'm just getting healthy. Or next step is just to get healthy. It's just to look my best. Or in the content space, it would be, I want to get more clients. That's when you start to ask them to elaborate. You're like, okay, interesting. What do you mean exactly when you say you want to grow more on social media? What do you mean exactly when you say healthy, when you just want to be healthy? They'll give more detail after that. You're basically forcing the detail out of them, getting them to be a little more specific with what goals they have. Then you acknowledge and ask what their current baseline is right now. You see, okay, so that is your goal. Perfect. Where are you right now? If you didn't notice, we just got them to say what their goal is right here, and we're going to compare that with the current state that they are in. So if we go back right here, we just got them to provide more detail about their goal, and now we are asking them, where are you right now? They give you the answer of where they are at with a disappointed reaction. You want to be like, really, you're only getting this amount of leads, or you are only exercising this many days? Man, that's got to be frustrating given the effort that you're putting in. What does your setup look like right now? This is going to get them to see, oh man, maybe I'm not doing enough right now. Maybe I'm not doing the things I need to. Then they'll tell you what their process is. They say, oh, I'm working out 5 times a week. Or I'm trying to eat a salad once a day. And if they haven't been detailed enough already, you ask for more detail. You get them to be very specific. What is your fitness strategy looking like right now? What is your organic strategy looking like? Break it down for me from top to bottom funnel. Explain a little more specificity. When you get them to be more specific with what they are currently doing, that is how you are going to identify those plot holes, the gaps in their process that is causing them to not get to where they want to be. And that is when you dive into those pain points. Once you identify those pain points, those problems that they have, that is when you circle back to saying, oh, really? And why is that? Why is that you're not getting to where you want to go right now? And then we go through the same motion again of this sequence. That is how you are going to interact with somebody that has never messaged you before, all the way to getting them to book a call or to convert. Now, make sure that you try this method out yourself. You need to remember, do not copy these word for word. The whole point of a conversation is it should feel natural and not just constantly sound like a copy and paste script. This is the same DM conversion sequence that I have used for myself and have shared to my clients, as well as teaching them how to bring new awareness to their account so they can scale their business and their personal brand. Now, if you want to skip the whole process of learning this by yourself and you want to work directly with me and learn how to implement this strategy with your content and bring more brand awareness and generate more leads, so that you are using this sequence to its fullest potential, then I suggest clicking the link below to book a strategy call with me, and I'll see you there.